Mayor, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for April 17th, 2025, to order at 7:05 p.m. On roll call, we have council members Fasolo,
Here.
Golombek,
Here.
Sampson,
Here.
Sheridan,
Here.
Troisi,
Here.
Council President Pellegrin,
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing out there? All right, that's good. We have an interesting evening tonight. We'll be celebrating the Elks and their 150 some odd years of existence, and we're going to be giving them a proclamation. But first, if everyone could please stand for our prayer and flag salute. And giving prayer tonight is Rabbi Schultz.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, a little bit raspy. Recently, I was reflecting on the 23rd Psalm, and many of us are accustomed to hearing this at funerals. But I thought about the words when we say, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death," and hearing that can be a little bit jarring. But yet at the same time, we walk through challenges of life. We walk through difficult times, but yet we find in our hearts the ability to harness God's blessings. We find in our hearts the ability to recognize that there is a creator. And at this time, spring represents a rebirth. We are now in a holy week for two peoples. This is the week of Easter as well as the festival of Passover, at which time we're coming together as a people of faith, as diverse communities, to pay homage and to pay respect to our God. And may we look at this period as a time of reflection as the weather changes and we have the opportunity to come out from our winter and cold weather hibernation. May we find it in our hearts to be able to impact one another, that no one knows how many days they have left in this world. And we wake up every morning to try to hit that reset button, to try to make a better life for ourselves, our families, and our communities. May we always find the strength from within to do just and to do good in this world. And may God accept our thanks for the healing of our beloved Chief Michael Foligno. And may we all continue to see that the challenges in our lives, particularly the health-related ones, are mitigated through faith and through resolve. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now, therefore, be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a special meeting notice in the Record and Herald News and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well in the public place within the municipal building. Also by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted and transmitted on January 3rd, 2025, and published on January 8th, 2025.
First up on the agenda, we have approval of minutes. We have the March 6, 2025 special executive session, the March 6, 2025 work session, March 6, 2025 executive session, March 20th, 2025 special executive session, March 20th, 2025 regular meeting, and March 20th, 2025 executive session.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Seconded.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilwoman Sheridan. On roll call, we have Council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golombek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, Mayor, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you for the proclamation for Elks Youth Week.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know too much about the Elks. organization, but they were established in the late 1800s. I believe it was 1868. Am I right with that? 1868? That's a long time. And they're an organization benevolent to all parts of our society. They favor our children, and they do numerous good deeds throughout the whole country. And we'd like to take the opportunity to make this week, Youth Week, and a proclamation from this mayor and council that will read something like this. Whereas the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks have designed May 1st to the 7th as Youth Week to honor American junior citizens for their accomplishments and to give fitting recognition of their services to community, state, and nation. And whereas Elmwood Park Patterson Elks Lodge 60 will sponsor an observance during that week in tribute to the junior citizens of this community. Whereas our youth need the guidance, inspiration, and encouragement which we alone can give in order to help develop their qualities of character, essential for future leadership, and go forth to serve America. And whereas to achieve this worthy objective, we should demonstrate our partnership with the youth, our understandings of their hopes and aspirations, and a sincere willingness to help prepare them in every way for the responsibilities and opportunities of our citizenship. Now, therefore, I, Robert Coletti, Mayor of Elmwood Park, do hereby proclaim the first week in May as Youth Week and urge all departments of government, civil, fraternal, and patriotic groups, and our citizens, generally speaking, to participate wholeheartedly in that observation. Diane, will you please come forth? In case you're wondering, what's in here is just what I just read. So I'm not going to put you through hearing that once again, okay? Thank you. First of all, you know the monthly magazines you send out? They're inspiring. They're historically accurate. I love them. They're like, that's my library now. I'm an elk, and I think...
I see
all elk members raise their hands. It's a good organization. Anybody out there want to be, oh, here we go, 2 more elks. Anybody out there want to become an elk? And I'm not talking to the ones with reindeer. It's a great organization. I'm going to let her speak about it, but we're very appreciative that we, in fact, have you in our account.
Thank you.
Right? And our door is always open.
I'm allergy challenged.
Lucky thing you're on the thin side. Okay, you're good.
All right, thank you. My name is Diane Ackerman, and I am the chaplain for the Elks Lodge 60 in Elmwood Park. We're right on Market Street, so if anybody is interested in joining, our doors are always open. Our exalted ruler cannot make it today, so I'm reading this on her behalf, and her name is Lisa Nazarato. I would like to sincerely thank Mayor Robert Coletti and the Town Council for recognizing the Elks organization. We truly appreciate your acknowledgement and support, and we are honored to be recognized by such a dedicated community leadership. Elks invest in their communities through programs to help children grow up healthy and drug-free, meet the needs of today's veterans, and improve the quality of life. I'd like to briefly highlight 3 of our programs that focus on empowering and supporting our youth. The first is Youth Recognition. Through this program, we celebrate and acknowledge students for their outstanding achievements. We work closely with the school authorities in our community to identify and honor young individuals who demonstrate excellence, whether academically, in leadership, or through community involvement. We look forward to welcoming the Town Council and school board members to join us on May 18th at the Elks Lodge, 192 Market Street, as we come together to honor these outstanding students. The second is our state major project, Elks Camp Moore, located in Haskell, New Jersey. The sleepaway camp provides a safe, supported, joyful environment for campers with special needs and disabilities. At Camp Moore, children have the opportunity to enjoy traditional camping and recreational activities while building confidence, forming friendships, and gaining independence. This is at no cost to the families. The third is National Drug Awareness Program, the largest drug awareness initiative in the United States. The Elks are committed to eliminating the use and abuse of illegal drugs. It is essential that our children be raised in a drug-free environment. As part of this effort, we host a weekend retreat at the Ocean Place Resort in Long Branch, New Jersey for teens, where we educate them about the dangers of drugs, addiction, and providing support for those who may be struggling with mental health issues, including suicidal thoughts. This is also at no cost to families. These are just a few examples of how we support the youth in our surrounding communities. These children are not our responsibility. They are our future leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Council comments? Eric, would you like to comment on?
Yes, Diane, thank you for your appearance this evening, and the speech that you delivered was a home run. I personally am the chairman of the Drug Awareness Program, which is part of the youth, as you said, part of the youth effort. The Elks is all about public service in general, civil service, or community service, and helping out, especially with youth. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations to our Elks and all of us, especially the ones that are seated up here, except for Mr. Golombek. And thank you, Diane.
Thank you. Councilman Fasolo.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I recently became an elk, and I did so because of seeing how much they do for the youth in particular, because as a teacher, the youth has always been near and dear to my heart. One of the things I especially am passionate about that the Elks takes head on is special needs children. So please continue that great work. I like that we're doing a proclamation tonight, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Golombek.
I'm good, thank you, Mayor.
Councilwoman Sheridan.
Thank you, Mayor. As Councilman Eric turned around and said, I've been a member of the Elks going on 4 years, and I just want to thank Lisa. Well, she's not here, but Diane, thank Lisa. It's a very educated group. I mean, we do a lot for the community. We do a lot for the children. I mean, the children are our future. So, you know, as long as they go in the right direction, we'll definitely, everybody will definitely feel a lot better. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Tracy.
Yes. I've been an elk for just about 5 years myself, and I often say that being installed was one of the best decisions I had ever made in my life. They are some of the kindest, most generous, giving people, and I'm not talking about monetarily. They give of themselves constantly. So I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to the Elks, not just for what they do in our community, but the way that they have enriched me personally. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes, Diane, thank you for everything you do and all the Elks do. I've been a member for 2 years now, and all you see there is kindness. It's always how to help the veterans, how to help the youth, how to help everybody. You've given to our pantries so that people have food. It's just such a loving and caring organization, like my other colleagues have said. And everything you do, you show love and kindness. And we are so happy as a community to have you come tonight and share a little bit about what the Elks does for our youth. And it really makes a difference in this world. When things are uncertain sometimes, you have a friend in the Elks. And I just want to really, as a leader of the community, thank you and all the other members from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations. You all do an outstanding job on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Diane, as I said earlier on, we are in love with your organization. It's carried on for a century plus. That in itself speaks for itself. The generosity, it does go noticed. So, like I had said earlier, this door is always open. Any way we can help to extend your generosity, please feel free. As you can see, majority of this council is an Elk anyhow, which is a good thing. And want to thank you very much for coming this evening. And this whole week is for those kids. Thank you. Thank you. Moving along.
Mayor, at this time, we will entertain a budget hearing for the public.
Okay. May I have a motion to open the floor on public comments on the budget?
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor to open to the public?
Anyone from the public here to speak on this, the budget, 2025 budget?
Wait, excuse me, did we do a first and second?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Did you have your coffee tonight or what?
No, so basically, we're
Didn't hear.
opening the public session without any commentary from the mayor and council or the finance administration. They have, their chance to comment is before anything is set up here, correct?
Well, I would think if they had to comment, it would be from a question from the audience, I would think. And anyone from the audience care to speak on the budget? If not, I will close the public portion.
Does the mayor and council want the CFO and auditor to speak?
Do we have any questions coming from the mayor and council on the budget to our auditor and to our CFO?
No, but I think that the CFO and the auditor should explain the budget to the residents and see what this council is about to pass tonight.
I agree, Mayor. I mean, some of the people weren't here for the last meeting. Once they give a little synopsis on everything, they may have questions, so I think we should let them
Okay.
give an overview of what's going on.
Absolutely. Mr. Roy Rigatano is our CFO. We'll start with him.
Push the button. Thanks.
So the budget this evening has been scrutinized a couple times by the council, numerous times by the administrator and the department heads, and the finance committee as well. So this is the final product. We met about 2 weeks ago. It was unanimous by the council. They wanted to reduce the taxes further. Through the efforts of our auditor, our administrator, we were able to bring that down. We got it down to $269 a home, assessed at $330,000. The main focus of this year's budget were the increases in the insurance, the garbage, pensions, and the library appropriation, which is by law 1/3 of a mil, which means we had to give them roughly another $120,000 more this year. So when you add all those numbers up, it came to approximately $2 million in increased expenses that this borough has no say on. It's basically state mandate, state pay, especially when we came to the pension bills. So with that, Mayor and Council, the number right now is, for this evening to adopt, is $269 a house. And that's with hopefully this year replenishing some of our reserves, which we have started last year. Hopefully, it's a better year this year.
Thank you. Paul Lurch, Auditor, would you like to speak?
Of course, thank you, Mayor. Yes, and so I'm not going to reiterate what Roy had indicated. Just a little bit of a different viewpoint here. Procedurally, I just want to make sure everybody understands what's happening tonight. So last meeting, you introduced the budget. The budget was introduced at a higher value per homeowner. So tonight, what's happening is we're opening up the original introduced budget to the public. Then what's going to happen is that we're going to introduce an amendment to the budget, and that amendment to the budget is also going to be open for discussion if anyone has any comments on that. And basically what that amendment did, it took the original introduced budget, which was over 300 an average house, utilized more surplus, and therefore what we're doing is presenting from over $320 an average house down to $270,000. Once that amendment is finalized, then the mayor and council will go through the process of voting on the actual budget itself. So the final budget, as Roy said, is different from what was introduced. I just want to make a few other comments here. I'm not going to get into the details. As Roy indicated, the major increases of the budget. But I do want to point out that when you look at historically what's happened on the budget side and the average increase, certainly when we were here last year and presented, we talked about a large increase compared to relatively where the budgets had been in the previous years. And what we're dealing with is still, believe it or not, in '24 we had an increase that was above and beyond what was normally anticipated. This year, I'd say again we have quite a larger size increase, and it's really part of the hangover effect still from what happened 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and 5 years ago. Those years were the years that the budget was produced or presented to the public and adopted at relatively zero tax increases. In order to do that, as you all know, in your own homes and your own households, every single year the cost of living is going up, up, and up. And what happened is that the budgets were introduced and presented at zero, meaning that the use of surplus and revenues were aggressive, more aggressive, and more aggressive. And finally, what happened in that third year, the budget actually was short by $1 million. In other words, they provided X amount of dollars to spend on the budget. We spent $1 million more than that. And that was in effect because of an emergency appropriation. So when you take the cumulative zeros and then you take on top of the zeros, you have this $1 million deficit. What we're looking at when we get in, when we address the '24 budget, we saw a sizable increase. Well, quite frankly, that sizable increase wasn't really enough to deal with those previous 3 years of aggressive budgeting and under budgeting. If we would have came here in 2024 and really dealt with the total deficit that was created over that 3-year period, it probably would have looked somewhere on almost like a $500 increase to the average house. But I think the mayor and council knew that that was not a palatable number, and they were in no way ever going to try to produce a $500 increase in 1 year on an average home. So what happened is that they did the best that they could. We presented a budget that, again, I'm sure at the end of the day, everyone would have liked a lower budget amount on an average house. But the reality is it's a 2-year period. We're still dealing with the residual effect of those budgets which were inadequate over those previous 3 years. So I do think, though, going forward, and as a result of that, I guess I do want to point out that surplus dropped last year almost $3 million. And that's, again, because of the effect of what happened in those previous 3 years. So surplus now stabilized. I know I feel more comfortable going forward. When we went through '24, we were able to get through the budget without having to do emergencies, meaning that the appropriations were adequate for the spending side. I know that myself and the CFO and the mayor and council believe that the '25 budget is also an adequate spending budget. And we all feel that that looking forward to '26, that we should be more and less back in line with cost of living increases. And certainly not a sizable increase like we're seeing, but more cost of living increases. And I think that's where the future lies. So I guess that summarizes my comments, Mayor. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, council, do you have any questions for either auditor or CFO regarding the budget?
I have one question, and it's could be for either gentleman. What's the tax levy increase as a percentage on a house at the average assessed value, that 200 and change number? What percentage increase does that reflect, the new amended number?
The amended number is roughly 8%.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the council? I would just like to say that nobody likes to hear the news that taxes are going up. I especially hate that word tax. However, we got hit just like our representatives here, our professional representatives had said, that we got hit with a $2 million increase in costs that are causing the taxes to go to the point that they have suggested. And so here lies, in a nutshell, that if we didn't have these increases, which I believe are the residual of not only the American Rescue Act, the $2 million we didn't get in the last 2 years, but also inflation. And these companies probably held back on bringing their rates up, and now we're getting hit with it in this third year. So I'm calling it the residual of somewhat of the pandemic. All right, with that said, then we can move on to the ordinance itself.
Okay, we have Resolution R-123-25, introduce ordinance number 25-06 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled Calendar Year 2025, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14, whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, March 20th, 2025, and that for the consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled Calendar Year 2025, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 48:4-45.14, passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Anyone from public here to speak on this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
No.
Quillabek,
No.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-124, amend the 2025 municipal budget, whereas the local municipal budget for the year 2025 was approved on the 17th day of April 2025, and whereas the public hearing on said budget has been held and advertised, and whereas it is desired to amend said approved budget. Now therefore it be resolved by the governing body of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, that the following amendments to the approved budget of 2025 be made as referenced in the resolution.
May I have a motion on the amendment?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I just want to make note that this amendment only happened because some council members up here had questions about the budget and actually wanted to go back and look at the budget. We were looking at a 10% increase, but because of the courage of a few council members wanting to ask questions, instead of sitting and not asking any questions about the budget, this amendment was possible.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. That's what our job is, and up to this day, we had to do was to ask questions. So it all culminates tonight. Everything before that was our workshop. So I agree with you. It was good conversation. Any further discussion? Just to recap on this basically, after we had looked at the budget, and then we asked the auditor, we asked our CFO, is there anywhere we can pull a few dollars from? And we dropped it down $26 on a house that's assessed at $335. So it went down in the right direction. We did our due diligence. Okay, call the roll.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
No.
Quillabek,
No.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Choisy,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-125-25, adoption of the 2025 municipal budget. Be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, hereby adopt the 2025 municipal budget set forth herein and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated of the sums therein set forth as appropriations and authorization in the amount of $23,621,407 for municipal purposes.
May I have a motion to adopt the 2025 municipal budget?
So moved.
I need a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
A lot of things that could be said, but I'll keep it brief. Since we adopted the last budget last year, which was a significant tax increase, and it was probably the same time last year, since that meeting, this mayor and council, and I looked this up specifically, has spent over 7 hours in the last year at the beginning of council meetings honoring people, accepting donations, all sorts of things, great things for our community. I'm not going down the path where I'm saying it's not good. We spent over 7 hours of the public's time and our time doing all sorts of beautiful and fluffy things to recognize people, accept donations, etc. We have spent less than 1 hour as a group discussing an 8% tax increase. And for that reason, among a lot of other reasons, I will absolutely be voting no.
Councilman, I want to ask you a question. We had 2 meetings prior to this meeting regarding this budget. You could have asked any question you wanted throughout the whole procedure. The first meeting, you walked out of the room. You weren't even there. You walked out of the room for the first meeting. So here you are calling whoever you're calling out, I don't know. You should be calling yourself out.
Okay. Are you done with your question?
Yes.
So the first meeting you reference was improperly advertised and illegally started. Okay?
And we corrected that.
Excuse me, but let me finish.
Right.
You, as the mayor, direct the clerk to advertise meetings. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Okay. And a special executive session was advertised to discuss the budget. That is not a legally permissible thing to discuss outside of the view of the public. It was the first time this council had any opportunity to hear from our professionals. I'm sure we got something a day in advance, but we had zero opportunity, at least myself, to discuss the budget prior to that point, and it was advertised in a manner that is totally inconsistent with the law. Okay? That's number one. And I called that out, and that's just the basic thing, and the attorney 1,000% agreed with me, okay? So for you to say that I left the meeting is totally false because it was illegally convened, okay? Number two, your solution to that was, okay, why don't 3 members at a time meet with our auditor, who is not a borough employee, he's a borough consultant and a professional, but not a borough employee, and the CFO was not available, was away at that time. Why don't we meet 3 at a time with the CFO and everyone can get their questions answered? We literally have a 10% tax increase in front of us, and it's like, oh, meet 3 at a time, okay? That's number one, okay? Number two, I've been on this council, this is my 9th year, and for many, many years, I don't know when it stopped, probably a couple years ago, this council would meet with every single department head on a Saturday morning or on a Thursday night and discuss their entire budget for their department, their employment needs, their capital needs for the following year, and so forth. None of this occurred. Moreover, with the change, with politics, different people coming on, And I make jokes at this about at meetings, so I'll be the first to say that. But I'm not on any committee of relevance, certainly not the Finance Committee. I don't know how often that committee meets. I haven't heard an official report from that committee, so I'm not in a position to necessarily know exactly what's going on. I asked several questions at the last work session, some of which were answered. But the bottom line is, you're flipping this back around on me. You cannot dispute the fact that we as a body, 7 people, did not discuss this for more than 1 hour as a group. When we can spend 7 hours doing all sorts of beautiful, cute things for the community where we take pictures and post online after, but when it comes to matters of consequence, our residents paying 8% more after going up double digits last year, we've spent less than 1 hour discussing it. I think it's outrageous for you to flip it on me to ask questions.
Okay, well, Councilman, you know, you're doing a lot of talk here tonight, but you've had a whole year to question any part of the budget that you wanted to. That's number one. Number two, you said that we had an illegal meeting. We did not have an illegal meeting. It could have been, we were making a mistake. Our attorney advised us to break it down into groups, which you hightailed it out of the room. So you're over here preaching about the budget and not having enough time. You were voting no for this budget right from the beginning, let's face it.
Absolutely not. Mayor, absolutely not. At the last meeting, I made several comments and references that we need to look at every single budget. We need to look at our workforce, how many employees we have, and there's no interest to do that. And here is my fear. My fear, 8% is a lot, but here's my fear. A lot of that is guided by health benefits going up 20+%. A lot of that is guided by Passaic sewage and what they're charging us, okay? So you're basically telling the people, we have no choice because these numbers went up this big. Okay. What is your solution when those numbers go up big again next year? You're going to go out here and say, sorry guys, it's 11.3% because those things went up again. Well, we did the best we could. And then the following year, when it goes up, when those line items go up, at what point do we have a responsibility to course correct and bring our staffing, our financial situation to a reasonable level?
Yeah.
You're passing the buck on to other situations, and it's the second year in a row.
Let's hope, and those goody two shoes, would you call it, that we do for the public, acknowledging an organization like the Elks Club, if you think that's a waste of
Nope.
time, I feel bad for you.
I
But let me ask you
specifically- Mayor, no,
something.
excuse me,
How do
There's no need to yell.
you made a statement.
There's no need to
that-
yell.
You made a statement that if it goes up the same amount next year, what are we going to do about it? Well, what'd you do about it this year? You couldn't do anything. You acknowledged that we had this great increase in pricing,
Right.
out of our control. You're talking in circles. Let's move on.
I'm not talking in circles. I'm not in a position to do anything about this budget. You and your colleagues own this budget. When my colleagues were dealing with the budget, we had department head meetings. We started this process 3 or 4 months ago. You plopped this tax increase in front of us maybe a month and a half ago, and we have had less than 1 hour discussion about it.
Yeah,
So
well,
you can talk about it all you want.
You left one meeting, so that's why they actually had 2 hours to talk about it.
you
And
yourself-
let me say this also, that 2 years ago, you got $1 million and $1 million in 23 and 24 from the American Rescue Act. Those dollars were gone. Where was your concern about spending money during the course of those 2 years, knowing that we didn't have that coming in 2025?
Those were both your budgets because you're the mayor. You supported those budgets, and the whole council supported that budget. So that's a fact. I am not disputing that costs are going up. I'm not disputing this is a difficult situation. What I'm bringing to the public is that this body, 6 council members and 1 mayor, yourself, have spent less than 1 hour discussing a budget that increases taxes.
No, you've spent 1 hour.
Well,
We've spent more time than that.
And where is that?
We spent it. We had 2 meetings. You weren't there for 1. So there, you half of the time you're talking about. Let's move
Right.
on here because this is going nowhere.
First of all, just to be very, very clear, I made a 3-sentence statement and you challenged me and questioned me. That's why we got into a dialogue. Let's be very clear about that.
I still love you, Daniel.
Mayor, I'm
I
good
still
with you
love you.
too. I'm just saying this is like very lackadaisical of the council to do this, increase
Yeah.
8% and
You're
not talk
pointing
about it.
fingers right now for political reasons. I know it, you know it, and let's put it to rest right now.
I'm not running for anything, so.
No, but you're making it a farewell statement for sure. Moving along.
Mayor, may I? I'd like to make a statement. I could recall you foreseeing this exact situation and expressing your concern during the years of 0% increase. And now here we are seeing it actually come to fruition. So Mayor, I thank you for that foresight. Unfortunately, the controlling council at the time didn't see it your way, and that's why we are where we are today. Thank you.
Moving along, Shannon?
I have to make a statement because that is an incredibly disingenuous statement. The mayor put both of those budgets on the agenda. The mayor signed both of those budgets. The mayor did not veto any of those budgets. And then the mayor and yourself took credit for those 0% tax increases. So that has to be said.
Moving along.
First by Council President Pellegrini, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
No.
Golombek,
No.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrini.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm going to ask for a couple of minute recess here. I know, want to take some pictures with the mayor and council, Diane, regarding the proclamation. Okay? So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Yeah, reestablish.
Okay, Mayor, I would like to reestablish a quorum for our regular meeting being held on April 17, 2025. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Here.
Golombek,
Here.
Sampson,
Here.
Sheridan, Troisi, Council President Pellegrini, Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have reestablished a quorum. At this time, we will be moving on to ordinances on first reading. We have Resolution R-126-25, introduce ordinance number 25-09 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Section 7-20, stop intersections, to add stop signs on Grove Street at Viveny Street, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, May 15, 2025, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the borough clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrini, second by Councilwoman Troisi. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golombek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan, Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrini.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-127-25, introduce ordinance number 25-10 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance by the mayor and council amending the Borough of Elmwood Park Code of Ordinances to repeal Chapter 28, flood damage prevention, to adopt a new Chapter 28, to adopt flood hazard maps, to designate a flood plan administrator, and providing for severability and an effective date, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, May 15th, 2025, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the borough clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
This is just basically to bring us up to date, is that correct?
Yes, I'll have.
Kyle?
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. So basically, the FEMA upgrades have required us to update our ordinance to match.
By the state? This is by the state?
Correct.
Okay. All right. May I have a motion on this ordinance?
Sec.
Mr. Fasolo?
Okay, yep,
He seconded it.
yes.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrini, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golombek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrini.
Yes.
Motion carries. Now we have ordinances on second reading. We have Resolution R-128-25, introduced ordinance number 25-01, on second reading. Whereas the public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water and penalties for the violation of certain said rules and regulations was reintroduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, March 20th, 2025, and that for the consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water and penalties for the violation of certain said rules and regulations passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public? I need a second?
Second.
Thank you. Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second it.
Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
This is a 10% increase in the water, on your water bill, so I'm going to be voting no.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Choisy,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-129-25, introduced ordinance number 25-07 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Appropriate an Additional Sum of $285,000 for the installation of a synthetic turf athletic field at Borough Park and by and for the Borough of Elmwood Park and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such additional appropriation and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes and anticipation of the issuance of such bonds was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, March 20th, 2025, and that for the consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Appropriate an Additional Sum of $285,000 for the installation of a synthetic turf athletic field at Borough Park and by and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such additional appropriation and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds passed on final reading.
This basically is the last payment for Phase 1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. May I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
Did you get your second?
Yes.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Choisy,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-130-25, introduced ordinance number 25-08 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Section 7-19 through streets to add stop signs to East 55th Street was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, March 20th, 2025, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Section 7-19 through streets to add stop signs to East 55th Street passed on final reading.
This basically is adding some stop signs to slow down the traffic on East 55th Street. May I have a motion to open to the public? Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to our consent agenda, we have the following resolutions. Resolution R-131-25, approval of payroll. R-132-25, approval of bills list. R-133-25, pump station emergency. R-134-25, resolution authorizing tax exemption for disabled veteran, 42 Donor Avenue, AKA Block 208, Lot 22. R-135-25, resolution to redeem third-party tax lien. R-136-25, resolution to refund tax-exempt veteran. R-137-25, authorized release of escrow. R-138-25, authorized Recreation Department refund. R-139-25, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Somerset County Cooperative Pricing System. R-140-25, award of contract for fire department consulting services. R-141-25, resolution for firearm permit investigation stipend. R-142-25, award of bid 2024 road program. R-143-25, grantee authorizing resolution Bergen County Open Space, Borough and English Avenue, dugouts, chain link fencing, and benches. R-144-25, hold harmless for parking of borough vehicles at 179 Market Street. R-145-25, continue maintenance of 30 Cole Street. R-146-25, elected officials revise participation at public meetings using electronic device. R-147-25, removal of Inderpreet Singh from the Elmwood Park Fire Department. R-148-25, removal of Robert Bruce Sr. from the Elmwood Park Fire Department. R-149-25, removal of Evan Tart from the Elmwood Park Fire Department. R-150-25, approve handicap parking space, Orchard Street. R-151-25, approve handicap parking space, Tulsa Avenue. R-152-25, authorize coin toss event, Defender Company Number 4. R-153-25, hiring employees to staff the Elmwood Park Emergency Medical Service Unit. And R-154-25, resolution to approve the consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor. For 143-25, the block and lot number 503, lot 18 is English Ave, not Dapp Court. So just, it's a typo or something on that. On 143-25, the block and lot number for Dapp Court, that's not Dapp Court. That'd
Thank
be
you.
English Ave.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else? If not, call the roll, please.
Okay, first by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Golubek. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
I'm going to recuse on 140-25, 147-25, 148-25, 149-25, and 152-25. Yes to the rest.
okay? Councilman Golubek,
Yes.
Councilman Sampson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sheridan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Troisi.
Yes. Oh, wait,
oh.
excuse me.
Mhm.
I need to recuse myself on R-140-25, 147-25, 148-25, 149-25, and 152-25. Yes to the rest.
Okay. Council President Pellegrin,
Yes.
motion carries. Next up, we have departmental reports. We have the Library Board meeting minutes from January 27th, 2025, and February 24th, 2025. And then we have the Board of Health meeting minutes from February 10th, 2025.
May I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
carries. Departmental reports have been accepted. Mayor, at this time, I will turn the meeting over to you for council reports.
Okay, we'll start with Councilman Fasolo.
Thank you, Mayor. Coming into the meeting, I am happy that we got to sit back down for the budget. Not happy that still the increase was high. As a homeowner myself, paying $19,000 in taxes is not something that I enjoy doing every quarter. And a tax increase that was double digits for 2 years in a row really hurts, because, you know, you don't know how much you have to increase rent on your tenants, right? You try to make it work with the mortgage and with the taxes. And then to vote again on an increase for water, which now is another burden. Water bills about between $300 and $400 every quarter. So you're really putting a burden on the taxpayers, on the homeowners of Elmwood Park. So that's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman, where would you cut? I mean, you've been in the same meetings we've all been in. Where would you cut? You're making a statement that taxes are going up, which we all know, but you're not coming up with no solutions.
Mayor, like I said, we like Mr. Golombek also said, we've sat with this budget for 2 meetings. We could have sat with, like we did before, we could have sat with every department head, we could have reviewed this longer, we could have had seen where we could cut from the budget before we started the fiscal year. So that's my comment.
Okay. Councilman Golombek?
Progress, Mayor, thank you.
Councilman Sampson?
Oh, yes, Mayor, thank you. As a liaison to the planning board, I attended the planning board meeting along with you on April 9th, and I'm happy to report that we continue to see business joining our community. So there's another business that will be opening up shortly on Route 46, and that's the Smugglers Club. It's a dispensary that's going to join Route 46. This dispensary initially was planned at the intersection of Mola Boulevard and Route 46. So it's the same applicant. He just moved locations due to a situation with his lease. And again, hopefully in the near future, we'll add both his marijuana assessment and also just the positiveness of a new business to our growing borough. It's always good to see new business come in. I was also at the opening day ceremonies for both the girls softball and Little League. It's great to see youth active here at our borough at every level, whether it's the Elks or other teams or other leagues. It's good to see that. On the AARP meeting end, we had a meeting on April 10th. Newbridge Health was there discussing stress and how it affects the population in general, but especially how it affects senior citizens. It was very informative. It was a great day, and we had a good lunch. So at this point, Mayor, as you can see, I'm reporting progress, and that's what I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sheridan?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a fire report, the first fire report in a long time.
In the mic, we can't hear you.
I have the first fire report that we've gotten in a long time. There was, for the whole month of March, there was 40 calls to our fire department. And from January till March 31st, there was 107. I see a lot of young people here tonight. I mean, if you guys are interested in becoming a firefighter, I mean, you can contact our fire chief, which is Chief Ed. He's over by the Rosemont section, 201-336-0873, extension 4100. If any young people would like to become a firefighter, firewoman, fireman, I mean, please reach out to him. I also we had the Easter egg hunt last Sunday. The kids seemed to have a great time. I'd like to give a shout out to our police department and our rec center, Dale Fava and the rec center. Great job by both. I mean, the kids had a good time. Everybody seemed to be laughing. Everybody had a good time. And they actually put out 85,000 eggs. 85,000 eggs. I mean...
8,500, 8,500.
Right, yeah, close enough. But we had a good time. I mean, it was over in a matter of a half hour, but the Easter Bunny came out. It was great. I mean, we all enjoyed it. Even the adults enjoyed it. So we had fun. I think that's all I have right now. Yes, that's it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Troisi?
Thank you, Mayor. Rec update. The rec department will be closed on Good Friday and on Easter Sunday, the 18th and the 20th. Summer camp registration is open. It's a 7-week program that will run from June 30th, which is the Monday after school ends, until August 15th. They are offering a new siblings discount of $25, which will apply automatically when you add the second child to your cart and community pass. Space is limited, so don't delay in signing up. Registration closes on June 13th. Opening day for both Little League and softball was a success despite the weather. I would like to extend a thank you to the Elmwood Park Police Department, to the Elmwood Park Fire Department, to the auxiliary, to the DPW, to the rec, to everybody who helped make it a successful day, and also to our sponsors and our supporters, because we could not do what we do without you. Spring soccer training program is open for boys and girls ages 6 to 14. The clinic runs on Fridays from April 25th to June 13th, and the cost is $85. Elmwood Park Bombers are having a speed and agility clinic. It's $25 per session, payable at the door. Spring mini camp will run from April 21st to the 25th. I do not know if there's any more openings. As of 2 days ago, they had 2 spots, so they could be full. My Board of Ed update, school will be closed on Friday, May 23rd, and Tuesday, May 27th, to make an extra long weekend to consume unused snow days. And then all current students that are in grades 3, 5, 8, and 10 will be required to re-register, and that needs to be done by June the 6th. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Just to reflect on opening day, girls softball and baseball, the weather didn't cooperate with us. However, the spirit was there. Our police department was there. Our fire department was there. All the kids were there. Wind was blowing, rain was coming down, but we got it through it. And that's the impetus of what makes us great in this country, is that we do not let things like that deter going forward and becoming successful. Council President Pellegrini.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My Board of Health update. The free rabies clinics for dogs and cats will be held on May 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. Firehouse number 4 on Mola Boulevard. All Bergen County residents are welcome. For any questions, please call 201-796-1457, extension 8809. And their next meeting will be held on Monday, May 12th at 7 p.m. My police update. Our Elmwood Park PD will be holding their annual Earth Day cleanup on Tuesday, April 22nd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. They were able to get 40 volunteers from our Elmwood Park High School to assist with the cleanup. They will start at the marina and will focus on other areas of town that need attention, and will finish up on Borough Field. The new Elmwood Park Chamber of Commerce update. They had their meeting on Tuesday. It was a very informative meeting. Michelle Orzo from the NJEDA was one of the guest speakers, talking about grants that are available for our businesses. For any questions, you can reach out to Michelle at 640-202-0324. Also, Greg Butler, a mentor for SCORE, was there to help give advice on how to proceed with applying for these grants. This is a free service. You can reach out to Greg at 201-370-4743 for more information. There are a lot of opportunities to help our businesses. I left some flyers on the counter down there for whoever's here that would like to take one. If you know a business, you can present them with one. There's a lot of money that they have available in these grants, so I encourage everyone to spread the word. Their next event will be a 5K and 1 mile strut for charity. Location Birchwood Park in our community. Time 12 p.m. There's also flyers on the counter for that. Or you can go to their website, www.elmwoodparkchamber.org, and their next meeting will be Tuesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. at our local VFW. Residents Assistance Program update. On Tuesday, April 1st, RAP received a check for $80,000 from the First Presbyterian Church of Elmwood Park. They decided to close their doors and had to sell the church building. With the proceeds, they gave to many organizations and charities. This very generous donation will help so many in need. We are grateful to Pastor Mike and Pastor Rose and all the members of the church. And on a personal note with this, I was a parishioner of that church, and they gave $80,000 to us, and they didn't want to come to a meeting. They didn't want to be recognized, but they asked me to please just say it at the public meeting because they wanted the residents to know that because they had to sell it, they wanted to leave a legacy for the residents in need and help them. So I think it was such an admirable thing to do, and we're so blessed by them giving us that much money. It takes approximately $20,000 a year to run our pantry and all the services that the Residents Assistance Program does for our community. So this will really give us a 4-year head start if we don't get as much donations, because it's all run on donations, no taxpayer dollars. So this will really help us out if funding is low a couple of the years. So again, we want to thank them all so much for their generosity. And lastly, Azez volunteers have been working with our Residents Assistance Program for 7 years now, and on May 4th, they will be doing their annual spring cleanup in our community. We thank them for their commitment to our community. Also, thank you to our police department for working with RAP and the Azez students to keep everyone safe. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Lorraine. You hit the lottery there with $80,000. Can you imagine that, ladies and gentlemen? $80,000 donation to the RAP organization. That's saying one thing. This is coming from a church, so they're not going to put their hands into anybody. They're not going to put their money in the hands of anybody they're not sure of. And what they did here was take $80,000 and put it in the hands there of Lorraine, who's been mothering this organization from day one. So stay the course, Lorraine.
Thank you.
Keep them dollars coming in. I just have one thing here. You might have passed the Vietnam Soldiers Memorial and seen some new landscaping that's going on. There were some dead trees that didn't make it during the winter, and we're in the process of refurbishing those trees, adding some more trees and sprucing it up. Okay, with that said, may I have a motion to open the floor to the public? Anyone from the public care to speak on anything whatsoever? Yes, sir. Let's get you set up.
Good evening,
First of
Mayor.
all, I'm sorry, sir, that you had to wait so long, but that's the procedure here.
Understood. Good evening. My name is Rafael Ceballos. I'm at 151 Elmwood Drive. I am the president for EP United Soccer Club from town. I know a lot of you here. We come here because we're very troubled. Our club was created in 2010. Ever since then, we've had a lot of players come to our club, been a feeder program for the high school, and we had very good relationships with the previous recreation directors. We had the field all the time, no issues. We got the permit, fields. We always obey by the law, do what we're told. We help out any way we can. But now recently, last December, we submitted a permit. We were told that now our tier is a different tier and that we had to pay $100 an hour to use the field. All of them here are residents from the Elmwood Park. And we pay.
Excuse me, everyone here is a resident?
Most of them, and they're club members, yes.
Continue.
And we, as taxpayers, paid for the rec field. And they had the right to use it. Am I not right? And we have a permit. We've always been very calm. We don't cause any problems. And all we need is a field to play from the clinics to the high school kids. That's it. I don't know what happened now, that everything changed, and even they were asked to provide documents that were residents. We provided that. And then we were told, even if you have 100% Elmwood Park residents on the club, you have to pay $100 for the field, an hour. Why, how is that fair? And why the change? If we, all this time, we had the permits to play and practice, all of a sudden now we don't. We have to make arrangements. We have practices dividing fields into like 4 or 5 spaces to have one practice. So we ask you to please look into this, because this is not fair for, no, not for me. It's for them,
No, for sure,
the kids.
for sure.
Okay?
I don't know if you know this, but I did speak to somebody that was representing your organization a couple of weeks ago, and I had told them to come to the May 1st meeting.
We were not aware, sir.
You never got
We were not
notified by
aware.
that?
No, but that's why we're here.
Okay.
We just decided to come and what we're here.
Okay, but that was the plan, and that's where the mix-up is here tonight. We don't have our rec director here to answer these questions. So I would appreciate it on May 1st, if you would come back, you can all come back, or you can come back with a less contingency.
Okay, but what I'm gonna do,
Yeah, well, yeah. What the BA is saying, that room will only handle so many people, but we definitely want your representatives amongst
Well-
them people.
well, one more thing, I'm gonna have my vice president speak now.
Okay.
And thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Mr. Mayor, but nobody ever notified us about May 1st, and the only 2 people representing us on this club is the president and myself. So I'm sorry if you were misled.
I won't mention his name, but I
No,
will.
that's fine. I just want you to know that all of our parents are here. They took their time off, and they would like to be heard. So please, if you could give us the time. They've been waiting here patiently. Please give us the same respect we gave you. Thank you.
Okay, hold it.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is
Whoa,
Jose Menezes.
whoa, slow down. We won't, you're entitled to talk. That's our God-given right. We won't be able to make any answers here tonight. If you can live with that, let's go.
That's fine, Your Honor. We just want to be heard. I mean,
And how many people are you expecting to talk? Just a rough idea.
probably after me, 2 or 3 more parents.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
May I proceed?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jose Menezes. I reside at 35 Phillip Avenue in Elmwood Park. I'm the Vice President of the EP United Soccer Club that has been part of this community for 15 years. The parents and I, can you guys please all stand up? EP United, stand up. The parents and I are here to ask for your help in getting playing time on the recreation soccer field. As you all know, in the past, we have been getting the permits for the rec center and English Avenue field. This year, with a new recreation director, we're being denied that field permit, and we were asked to provide addresses and proof of residency from the parents of the players. We provided all the necessary information to the recreation director, only to be surprised with his email that said, "You're not getting the fields, even if you provide all this information." As you all know, we were told we're not part of the rec, we're a private organization, but as you all know, so is youth football and girls softball are in the same category as we are. We feel that we are being targeted and discriminated against, Mr. Mayor. You voted to raise our taxes that pays for the field and pays a nice salary for a new recreation director, only to deny us access to the field that we, the taxpayers, pay and pay to maintain. I hope we can resolve this issue without having to go through the legal route. We're not asking for special treatment. We just want to be treated fairly like other sports organizations. We just want a few hours on the weekends and a few hours during the week so the children can be on the field instead of sitting home playing video games. I personally feel our children benefit from these sports, not only in their physical health, but also with their confidence and character. So I hope that you all will do the right thing for these kids. Thank you. Anyone else that want to come up, please?
Welcome.
Good evening, guys. Hi, my name is Tess Toro. I'm here with my husband and my son Maddox, and my daughter's in Girl Scouts, and she finished now. I reside in 260 Kip Avenue, Elmwood Park. We live in Elmwood Park for over 10 years, and we are taxpayers. My children attend the Rex Aftercare and summer camp. They have been for years. They attend Gantner School.
Could you pull the mic down so we can hear you, dear?
Yeah, I know I'm short,
Thank
right?
you.
That's why.
Thank you.
They enjoy living in this town. They enjoy participating in the town's activities, whether it's dance, gotta dance here, cheerleading, baseball, softball, and soccer, and even Girl Scouts. They are both heavily involved in the town's various sports activities. Help me understand, well, I know the director's not here, but I guess I want to understand why we're not able to see our children play on this newly built field. We've been waiting a long time for this to be finished, and now we come to learn EP United is getting charged additional fee for our children to play here. Help me understand why I can't have family members come and watch my children play in their hometown. Help me understand why I can't have help me understand why we are getting charged an additional fee for my children to play in Elmwood Park Field, in the town they go to school, in the town they go to church, St. Leo's, in the town we support local businesses. We spend so much money for the aftercare and summer camp run by the Elmwood Park Recreation. Help me understand what changed from all these years playing and being able to see my kids play in their hometown fields. Why is this fair? We were given a choice, and that's what I liked about this town. When we were looking for soccer teams, I was approached, they said, you know what, there's 2 teams here. I had the opportunity to listen to the teams, and I thought EP United was the best one for me and my family, and I don't understand why that's being taken away from me now, because we have to get charged an additional fee. Help me understand why, guys. Why are we doing this to our kids? You guys talk about, and I think this is great, you do a lot of things for Elmwood Park. I came here 10 years ago, and I really like this town. I think you guys do a lot for the kids, but now it's like it's being targeted, right? These kids, these are youths. You say the first week of May is youth, right? But what about these kids that are all here? They're supporting, it's 8/25. It's spring break, and they're here, and they're supporting EP United. So I want you guys to really understand that there is an importance for us to use the field. I mean, don't you want our other family members to come and see what great town Elmwood Park is? But now we have to go to other towns. Our family members have to go to other towns to see them play. I mean, EP United, Youth 10, right? They won the championship. I mean, that's awesome. Wouldn't we want to celebrate them and have them come to the field? That's all I'm saying to you guys. Really think about this, because I don't know what changed over these years. Maybe it's the new director. I haven't met him, but I'll be honest with you, based on some of the activities at the rec, I mean, I think there should be more security at the rec. Some of the activities that happen there. I mean, some of the people were afraid to actually go to some of the events. There were fights there. I think you guys were, some of you guys were there. I mean, what's going on here? So I just want to make sure you guys kind of listen to us and understand where we're coming from. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak on any subject whatsoever? If not,
Mayor, I just have a question for the 2 gentlemen. Have you ever been charged for field use in Elmwood Park?
Never.
Okay.
We were never even put on those tiers from the previous rec directors. What I'm trying to understand is, so are you telling me in the last 15 years, the other rec directors were doing it wrong, and this new director now just discovered something different? Nothing has changed that we're aware of.
okay. We'll get to the bottom of this.
So Mayor, just my position, and I can't speak for the rest of the council, I don't think that we should be charging you guys. I think that you guys deserve the field. I think that if this organization has been in our town for over 15 years, I think they deserve the respect of not being charged, if not being charged.
Anyone else care to speak? Mr. Roberts.
Carl Roberts, 260 Washington Ave. I got a couple of things. One, up on the boulevard, as you come off of Route 4 onto the boulevard, you have a crosswalk there. At night, nobody can see cars that are coming up, or especially during the day when you have cars parked on the side. Can we please put a flashing light up there like we have on the rest of this boulevard? Because that is a big safety, and it's right in the apartments where a lot of residents are. I've seen 3 people almost get hit at multiple times up there. Second thing, to the 2 gentlemen, you guys are talking about the budgets. You sat up here for years bonding things. The problem is you don't realize it, but we get the effect of that as it comes done. So if it's a 20-year bond, you might not feel the pinch, but the kids would. The grandkids would feel the pinch if they're still living here and taxes are going up. You guys need to stop bonding everything. That's the problem.
Carl, I pay $19,000 a year. Don't tell me that I don't feel the pinch of spending money. I pay $19,000. I feel it. Believe me, I feel it.
But you're sitting up here complaining about a 10% raise when...
Of course I'm going to complain about a 10% tax increase.
You guys sat there and used COVID money for the budget. Now it's gone. Guess what? You have to raise the taxes. Unfortunately, that's the law of the nature. Come on. It's common sense.
So what's your argument? That because of bonding, taxes going up, or because of COVID money? Or are you going to add a third
It's a
argument?
combination of both.
You want to add a third one, or are you just going to stick to the 2?
It's a combination of both.
Okay. So, I mean, they're not here anymore. Did you hear a single word from either professional that the taxes are increasing this year because the debt service, which meaning the mortgage payment, however you want to characterize it, has gone up double or has tripled or gone up 300%? Did you hear any of that tonight?
I heard that the taxes are going up. Okay.
We all heard that, yes.
You 2 gentlemen are complaining about it going up 8%. When you bond something, it has to get paid off at the end.
Right.
Taxes go up. So everything that has been bonded for years, say the past 20 years, taxes are going to be going up anyway because they have to be paid.
I mean, generally speaking, your comment is correct, like in the most general sense of what you just said, but it's just not applicable to our situation. The taxes are not going up this year because of bonding. Has nothing to do with that. Moreover, I'm not questioning that our expenses are going up to the tune of 8%. What I'm questioning is that the 7 people that you and everyone in this room put into this position, and this is a fact because no one's disputed it to this point, have spent less than 1 hour as a group discussing this.
And you were that one person that spent only 1 hour. Everybody else spent 2 hours.
You may have had private personal meetings regarding the budget, but you
Did you walk out on that meeting or not?
That was not a meeting.
It was a meeting, because we did it right. Counselor, was that an illegal meeting or not?
No.
So the council did not meet as a whole. There were subcommittee, or however you want to call it, meetings that proceeded, and those were lawful.
Okay, there we go.
Excellent.
Anything else,
Also,
Carl?
too, social media. I am constantly seeing posts on there, especially on Facebook, of bashing other council people. It needs to stop. You guys have been voted in by the residents of this town. If you have an issue, let the residents know to come to a meeting and discuss it that way instead of bashing everybody on social media. This is the worst thing I have seen.
Which one in particular are you speaking about?
Do you want me to answer that honestly?
Sure.
You.
Me, okay.
Sitting there bashing this council because of the rule that you want to turn around and call in when you're not here.
Okay, it wasn't a bash of the council. It was a forewarning that by limiting or having a majority of council members have the ability to vote someone to not be able to participate in a meeting virtually, I said either we don't do virtual at all or you allow it. There's 2 options. By allowing somebody not to attend the meeting, an elected official to not attend the meeting, then that's a little political to me, so I had a problem with it. Yes, I did not bash council members on here at all, And actually, when we did sit back down and discuss it, I commended the council and I said that we did the right thing by voting, in which we voted on it tonight. I said that we worked together and we found the common ground. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yes, Councilwoman Pellegrini?
I'm done. Thank you.
Mayor, I'd just like to say a couple words. I just want everybody here to know that we heard you all. They had a meeting that was already going to be in place, as you heard tonight, that you weren't aware of, May 1st. Our rec director will be there. We are going to try to work together to solve this problem. Your voices were heard. We care about our youth, and we're going to try to fix this, okay? So I just wanted you to know that because you sat here a long time. It was a long meeting. Everybody up here, we may differ at times with different things, but we do really all care about the children. We really do. So let's try to work this out at that May 1st meeting and really get back on track, okay? So my promise to you is that we're going to work on it. I can't say we're going to solve it for sure, but we're going to try real hard because it's for our kids. Okay, so I just wanted to know that you've all been heard. The last thing I just want to say, and I don't want to go into a back and forth, we all have the opportunity to meet with any department head whenever we want to ask questions. Our finance committee, I know, met with the CFO on a few different occasions to hear about the budget and ask questions. Yes, I agree that the time was limited together with the 7 of us. I also went to the CFO on about 3 to 4 occasions asking questions. So I just want everybody here to know that we as council members and a mayor can go to any department head at any time and ask any question we want. We have the right to do that. Okay, that could have started 2 months ago, that could have been 2 weeks ago, but everybody has that opportunity. I've never had a department head in the 12 years that I'm a council person say, no, you can't meet with me. I have concerns, I have questions, you know, what's going on? So I say to my other colleagues, you know what, if it's that important to you, make the phone call, make the time. I know department heads that will meet with you here at night. I know they will meet with you here before work in the morning. Some of them start 5, 6 a.m. Our CFO is here a lot of times. So if you really want to know some answers ahead of time and have your questions answered, you have the opportunity to do that. And I'm not going to go back and forth with anybody. I let everybody speak all night. That's my feeling, but I just want the residents here and at home to know we have the opportunity to find out answers to things. Thank you.
Lorraine? With all due respect, in response to that, when this council formed, this mayor and council formed committees, me and my counterpart, me and my colleague, Mr. Golubek, were not placed on any committees. So they say that the finance committee met multiple times to discuss the budget, but me and my colleague have never received any reports from the finance committee or at any meeting. So, you know, that's all I have to say. Also, to the point where we have to call our department heads, the way the budget has always been done is our department heads come into meetings and report on their budget, and then, you know, discuss where we could cut, where we could help them out, and that hasn't been done at all.
Excuse me, but I'd just like to say, if you were concerned about the department heads not coming in anymore for the last couple of years, why didn't you ask the mayor and the BA to set that up so that they could come in instead of bringing it up at the 11th hour? Just wondering why you do that. And you don't have to be on a finance committee or anything else to call a department head, to call our CFO and ask questions.
That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is you said you met multiple times with the finance committee, but never once did I hear at the council meeting.
No, I didn't say met with the finance committee. I said the finance committee met with our CFO.
Exactly.
And I met with him at different occasions, not with them. You can't have 4 council persons.
No, the finance committee is 3. So you met with CFO.
By myself, which you could have had the
okay.
opportunity to do,
All
or
right.
you could have the opportunity to call.
So
But
why do
you
we have
chose not
committees?
to.
So
You
why do we
chose
have
not
committees
to.
then? I don't know. We have committees
You
to make
chose
it
not
easier.
to. If you chose not to, you couldn't have
We
been that concerned.
Ms. Pellegrini, we had multiple committees for that job. That is the job of a committee. We can't meet as 4, so the committee meets and reports back to the council.
Mayor, can I talk about soccer?
I think we had enough.
Soccer, let's talk about soccer. Oh, well, I'll go after the gentleman.
Hi, everybody. I'm leaving the 193 Stefanik. You have a problem for the bus transportation. You have the two Dora. One that Dora Middle School, you have the bus transportation for the high school, no. Who is the reason? First, sidewalk is not safety, not crossing guard.
In that location?
You're looking for a school bus for your kid to get to the high school?
No, you have the two Dora. One Dora Middle School, you have the bus. For the high school, no. No bus.
So one daughter goes to the middle school, gets a bus, one goes to the high school, does not get a bus?
Yes.
Board of Ed.
Yeah. This is, unfortunately, we can't answer that question here tonight because that's the Board of Ed, a separate entity.
No.
They're
I'm
autonomous.
waiting 1 year for this one, almost 1 year.
Right, but
Not
sir,
tonight,
where-
not
where
yesterday,
you have to
1
go,
year.
you have to go to the Board of Education and,
I'm going.
That's
Nobody
what-
answer.
We don't control this. We have nothing to do with busing children to schools. We just don't. It's not, we do a crossing guards. If you want to talk about a lack of a crossing guard, you could do
There's
that.
no crossing guard, nothing
No, but
here.
I'm telling you,
No sidewalk safety, nothing.
We up here have no control over busing to the public schools. We just don't.
You here for the sidewalk and crossing?
Well, that's different. If you have a specific spot or something, tell us, but we don't control. Nothing, we don't do anything with busing.
I'm go to boarding director, nobody answer, 1 year.
Well,
Excuse me, can I say something? Mayor. Excuse me, sir. I
in the
understand-
microphone.
Can you hear me? I understand where you're coming from, but the next Board of Education meeting is April 29th, which is next Tuesday coming up. The following Tuesday, I'm sorry, the following Tuesday in 2 weeks, okay? And that is over by the high school.
Okay.
And I think it's 6 o'clock or 6:30? 6:30. So you might want to take that concern. We're not trying to shut you down or anything, but you need to go to a Board of Education meeting for that. And they
Okay.
can address it, and they can tell you exactly what you need to know.
Okay. No
April
problem.
29th,
Okay.
6:30 at the high school.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, sir.
oh, leaving?
Just like to say before you leave that, don't forget, we're on for May 1st. We'll have the person that can answer your questions and resolve the problem. If you look at this, mayor and council, we all come from sport backgrounds. We understand the importance of keeping the children off the streets and then on the playgrounds. So let's leave on that note. Looking forward to you on May 1st. Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
What?
No, motion